And now let's hope that whatever happens is going to function.
I hope so too. I have no guarantee that.
Alright, and we'll switch to mine.
This is my first time giving a presentation for my Mac, so I'll help you. Should I start?
You know what? Just start. I'm gonna do what I can, but
Don't worry, nobody wants to see the slides anyway.
Time to use the T where you're going to get hit with a ball.
Alright, welcome. Sorry for the late start, but I have apparently broken the AV equipment. So, first goal of the day complete. Winning isn't everything. How trolling can be as much fun. We missed.
make sure you speak up nice and loud because it's no ambient.
So, just a brief introduction to who I am. My name is Joey. l0stkn0wledge is my handle. Yes, that is me wearing a bumblebee mask. I'm a giant 12-year-old at heart, hence the love for Legos, Star Wars, Star Trek, which both will get referenced in here. Ohio State, that's where I graduated. I'm a founder, member of the board of directors at Nova Labs, makerspace based out of Reston, Virginia. A couple disclaimers I'm going to put in here. All the views and opinions in this are my own. They do not reflect the views and opinions of my employer or any other related organization. They pretty much appreciate that.
I know, I'm messing with your stuff, sorry.
Adrian messes with my slides.
Alright, it's let's go.
Disclaimer 2. The trolls that you'll see and hear about in this presentation were performed by professionals. Please do not try any of these trolls at home. And the last one. Not that we have to worry about it so much since the slides apparently aren't being recorded, but this presentation is not safe for work. Some slides may contain material that may be questionable, so please be warned about that. Hence the wanting to throw children out. Thankfully, nobody is under 18. So what is the definition of a troll? I'm not talking about wishing trolls. I'm talking about that guy. So this is a modified version of the definition of a troll that they give from Wikipedia. You know, basically a person who wants to sow discord on the internet. They want to get that, visceral, emotional response from somebody. So, what's new about what the hell I'm doing? Well, how many people talked about this? Yes, as a matter of fact, there have been whole PhD dissertations on trolling on the internet. No, I'm talking about trolling in person. Most of the talk on the internet is about how people turn into total dicks because they can be anonymous. Let me tell you, some of us are dicks when we're not anonymous. As proven there. So I've decided to use this as archetypes. It might be hard to see on here. I was hoping the projector would be a little brighter. Yeah, God, that sucks.
Or we can turn down the lighting in here.
Yeah, let's try that. Yeah, I wish. So, it might be slightly more visible now. I'll apologize if it's not. I'll move over here and try to point everything out. This is a scene from Star Wars Episode 1, which in and of itself is a bit of a troll by George Lucas. Here they're riding in that stupid underwater boat. Here is Obi-Wan Kenobi as a Padawan, Qui-Gon Jinn as a Jedi Master, and Jar Jar Binks as, well, Jar Jar fucking Binks. So, I'm looking at these three as the three main archetypes of the real-life troll. The Jar Jar actually covers kind of two categories, both the accidental troll, who is just immature and doesn't realize that he's a troll, and the blatantly malicious asshole troll who doesn't even try to hide his intentions. The Padawan is kind of somewhere in between the Jar Jar and the Master. He's initiated, he knows skills and arts. He can troll you without you necessarily realizing it, but he's not as good at it as the Master, the professional. He's the one who'll troll you, you won't even realize it until later when you realize, why did I get so angry? God damn it, that man fucking got me to bite. So, as we have archetypes, we have examples.
Hey.
And they're trolling the Master. So,
the troll slide, awesome.
So, As you see, using myself as a Padawan, I have in there the Spiky as the master, and I'm wondering if Spiky recognizes whose face is on the Jar Jar Binks. Look really, really closely, sir. It took a lot of morphing to make that face fit. Come on, you know who it is.
It's not really an accidental troll.
Who is it? Who is it? Stark Jar Jar.
You heard the name Jar Jar.
Yes. Yeah, he's just, it's a guy we work with who can be a little annoying. So, I wanted to kind of show some inspirations for my history in trolling. I'm sorry, since we don't have like actual like audio, you'll have to bear with the craptastic of my Mac speakers. My first trolling inspiration is actually Q from Star Trek. And his last line in this clip is actually very important, so I'm going to repeat it so you can hear it.
You'll thrash me. Shall we settle this? Oh, no.
It's the cups, pugilism, the manly art of self-defense. Come on, isn't this all wonderfully terrific? Go on, take a look at me. I know that's what you really want to do. Come on.
I'll wager 5 bars laughter on Cisco.
Fight back. This is supposed to be burglary.
Nice trophy.
You could pay me out of your profits from the auction. You hit me. Picard never hit me. I'm not Picard. Be not. You're much easier to fool. How fortunate for me.
So yes, if you didn't catch the line, he just basically says, you're much easier to provoke, how fortunate for me. So that's exactly what the troll wants, obviously, is somebody who's easy to provoke. Inspiration number 2, I actually kind of have to thank Spiky for reminding me of this one. I'd like to point out, I actually forgot Samuel L. Jackson was in this movie until I watched this clip again. I was like, fuck, he is in everything. And then the last of my inspirations, which is actually a more modern one, but there have been past examples of it as well, is the trolling comedian. There are plenty of them about, but this is Daniel Tosh. And it'll probably be hard to... So basically, it's hard to hear. Basically, he's going to sing all the things that women he's basically women can be good as men at anything except, and he's listing off all the stuff they can't be as good at.
Doing push-ups from their knees. Taking half the Beatles' money. Bitches, please.
So, those are sort of my inspirations. Again, I apologize for not being able to hear them as clearly as possible. So we'll actually get into the background now. So, this starts with the birth of the apocalypse. A group of 4 of us who were somehow conned, and yes, I and Fem and Kitty. It's obvious, isn't it? So to give you the background, basically, we were kindly asked to put together a CTF team to compete in the Duplicity CTF at SkyDownCon 2, which was in 2012. Bit of background on it. Basically, the teams competed in turns, going as red team and blue team against each other. The concept basically was you have a corporation doing bad things, and that's when you're on blue team that you're acting to defend the network. When you're red team, you're actually trying to break into the corporation to prove that they've done the bad things. So you're slightly less morally objectionable. So one of the key points about the way the CTF was done is the blue team goes off to lunch, like any good sysadmin would, and leaves everything there so the red team can come in, breaks into the office, does their thing, and get out. And so what's important there is that you actually have a time that you're responsible for keeping up when you're in the room. So it's imperative that you get in, do your thing, and get out. So how can we take advantage of that? As I mentioned in the middle, blue team work. Basically to gain advantages. One of the things we did, take a cell phone, some duct tape, and a chair, and attach them to each other. What does this equal? This equals a bunch of troll-faced happy people standing around a table, listening on the cell phone that they used to call into the cell phone at the desk chair and listen to everything the red team was doing when they broke into our fake office. So now we know that they've been there, we know what they've been doing, so how do we actually distract them and make sure the time goes away? That's where this stuff comes in. Yes. Unfortunately, I'm sad to report that a love doll plus helium does not equal flight. I can tell you that other things were used. Before he was used as a car clip ornament, the giant black dong was used in the CTF as were anal beads. And trolling with fake passwords and a couple of real ones strategically placed on Patty, which nobody picked up. So the question is, when you go through all this hardware controlling and doing all that, does it actually work? Do you actually accomplish what you want it to do? Is it actually working as a distraction? So I can tell you definitively the answer is yes. Actually, here are the troll-faced happy people who had been listening on the phone, walking in and catching the rather young individuals who didn't know quite what hit them. As a matter of fact, while we were listening on the phone, you get a lot of giggling, a lot of what is this, a lot of what is that. At one point, the CTF organizers had to tell them, you realize that you need to put that stuff back exactly how you found it, because then they'll know you were here. So yes, it does work. So yes, you can be an asshole and improve your life and have some gain from it. Because in reality, the end game was we actually did win. We still don't know how or why. Apparently, we just did that horribly awesome of a job. So here are the troll-faced happy people getting their black badges at Sky.com. So if we fast forward a year, another version of the Apocalypse Kitties. We were asked back, because nobody learned the lesson from the first time. Why do you want us to come back? So background for this year. Same concept, basically, well, similar concept with red team, blue team. Different backstory, rules are a little different. So you didn't have any, like, alone time in the office. You don't have, basically it's looked at as a university situation. The red team are students trying to being authorized to do a pen test for the school, but also trying to break in and change their grades. The blue team is the network help desk. The guys trying to keep you out. So we said we were going to plan. We talked about planning. We held Google Hangouts about planning. We failed to plan. So we just fell back on old habits with some new methods. Like little micro cameras, taking a key fob camera, ripping it out of the actual fob and planting it in places where it may not be seen. We did some cable stealing. At one point we got so frustrated on red team. While you're on red team, there's a computer in the, what's supposed to be the computer, it's a computer in the library that they set up. So we got so frustrated at one point, we just decided we were going to DOS their bots by taking the power cable every time and hiding it and then having them come over, put a new power cable in, take it out. Just repeat that process. We figured they'd run out of power cables. So, you know, again, just trolling and being a dick. Obviously, it works for some.
How's your 5 nines now?
Yeah. So, we actually did do better with security during blue team this year than the year before. Not a lot better, but we did. Yeah, we're still not good at this, so we still just continue to troll. We basically went over, and since we were the help desk, we came up with excuses to go into the red team's room and leave behind things. So, some things that we learned a valuable lesson this year as well. So what we learned is, the midget love doll plus compressor equals explosion. It's a little too much pressure for such a small item. We did have other inflatables again as before. You know, I mentioned here the stealing cables that we actually did. On both slides.
All the Kaczynskis went Kazatskis, and it was horrifying.
Yes, it was definitely scary. So one thing that we did kind of learn is about knowing your targets. When we went against the red team, we actually went against the team of, when we were blue, the team we went against was all Sky.con staff, which meant they were people who kind of knew what to expect out of us. So the shock and awe didn't quite work quite as well as we wanted. It was mostly good for laughs, but it didn't really delay as much as we'd hoped. The year before, when we competed as blue team, the red teamers we went against were a bunch of college freshmen who, like I said, were giggling the whole time and didn't even, I think, actually know what half the stuff we had put on the tables was. So the result was a defeat, but is it really a defeat? No, it's always a win. Because in the end, when you lose, you still had fun, right? Even when you troll, you can still have fun. So avoiding the trolls, obviously don't feed the trolls, kind of the old mentality, how do you deal with the troll? So I've actually kind of broken it down by the archetypes. For the Jar Jars, it really comes down to either the accidental or the truly malicious douchebag. The accidental one is at least teachable usually. At least you can hopefully change his ways. Maybe he doesn't realize he's a dick. Maybe he just doesn't realize he's too over-enthusiastic. Whatever his situation may be. The malicious one, ignoring is probably the best. Following the don't feed the troll mentality is probably for the best. There's always physical violence. I'm not advocating physical violence. So please don't tell anyone that I told you to hurt anyone.
Do it.
Yeah.
Don't tell me.
Yeah.
Do it! Don't tell us. That's what I'm hearing.
So, it's one of those things. I look at it almost as the little brother mentality. Because let's be honest, when you've got, I grew up in a house with 2 younger siblings. When you have 3 boys living in a house, there's a lot of trolling involved. We may not have called it trolling back then, but it's all it was. And my mom gave us the same advice as don't feed the troll, which is if you don't give them the satisfaction of the response, they'll go away. So there's no better advice to give than that. But the simple fact is, the Jar Jar is like the child, is like your siblings. When you're young, you're immature, you don't have a better way to respond, and you don't have a better way to troll. So a lot of times it is just physical stupid crap. That's why, wow, I'm not even trying that. That's why with the other archetypes, you have to consider other options. If you have the Padawan or the Master, just ignoring may not be enough. Usually the Master has the patience to wait you out. He'll get there eventually. He may not even do it all at once. He's going to start out really slow anyway and build up to it. It's like it's like if you stick the frog in, it's like if you stick the frog into the boiling pot of water, he's going to jump right out. But if you turn the temperature up when you start,
that's not scientifically accurate.
thanks. It's just a metaphor.
Just trolling you, Earl.
Yeah, thanks. It's only appropriate I get trolled during a talk about trolling. Jesus! At least he's lobbing me. So,
actually, Giggles, pull out your display port and put it back in.
I'm being asked to pull my port out and stick it back in.
He's just trolling.
Now I'm playing with my dongle.
Pull out your little white dongle.
Yeah, now I'm playing with my white dongle.
Reinsert your dongle.
So, as we refer to a bunch of 12-year-olds, as if we didn't start there anyway. So again, with the Padawan, there might even be a chance to actually teach them and turn them away. The only downside to this analogy is that I actually think the Jedi Master and the Padawan are actually probably more appropriately labeled as the Sith Master and Apprentice, the Darth Vader to the Emperor Palpatine, that's probably a more accurate, but for the sake of that picture, it worked. And it gets the point across, which is that, you can actually, I think there's actually a chance to change the direction of somebody if they're actually being an asshole and they're at the paddle on stage. If they're just learning to be an asshole, if they have a master that they're learning from, there's still a chance to save them if they want to be saved. Some people enjoy the dark side. We have cookies. Damn it, that's a picture I should have put in here. So I'm probably actually going to run out of material, but I do have a slide of thanks. I want to thank BSidesDE for actually letting me give this talk. I'm a little surprised they did. I'd like to thank my trolling sidekicks. They know who they are, most of whom stayed anonymous. I want to thank all of you for putting up with my crap for the last 20-some odd minutes, 30 minutes or so. I will take any questions if anybody actually has questions about trolling, whether you would like to learn to be a troll in real life, or you know somebody who's a troll and want to know how to deal with them, or you just want to see me dodge smooth balls for the next like 5 minutes.
They're not smooth balls. That's smooth balls.
They're not smooth balls.
That's disclaimer. That's trademark.
That's trademark.
Corporate tenacity balls. So I'm hearing you have experience with trolls and you work with spiking.
Yeah.
No, that's completely unrelated and unfounded.
I don't know why I'm throwing you ammunition again.
Don't feed the troll.
Yeah. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a prime example of not feeding the troll. Nobody? Nothing? I got one more. I got one last troll for you. And this one I'd like to thank Deviant a little for. Ah!
Sorry, that's it. I remember the drive.
He does have a Twitter account.
Yes, it does have a Twitter account.
The Dong has a Twitter account?
Yes, it does.
And the manufacturer was tweeting their
Control an entire interstate with the people
the best part actually I think is when we pulled into the easy end for to get gas. We couldn't have made that. We tried. Are you out of balls yet? Nope.
This is just the first bag.
Just the first bag. Save some for Bob tomorrow.
I know better than Bob. Is that a lobby?
No, that was actually in the hallway. This I do believe is in the lobby. So that is all I have. Thank you for what was probably my best troll yet, was getting this talk through and making you all sit through it. Thank you. If nobody has any questions, I'm good. And I'd like to avoid any more balls. So.
All right. Thank you, man.